Hi, and welcome to another Pantry Clips. My name is Edna, and I run the community kitchen here at the Nourish Develop Foundation. And today we're doing a super easy recipe for you, great summer salad called a 3-bean salad. We're calling it a 3-bean salad, but you could put as many beans in it as you want. You can use as many vegetables as you want. But we're using 5 beans today, and the beans that we had in the kitchen. You don't have to use the specific beans that are in the recipe. You can use the cans of multi-beans that already have a good selection of beans in them. You can pick your favorite types of beans. You can use whatever types you like. Today I've chosen to use some chickpeas. Always when you're using canned beans, please make sure to drain them and rinse them really well. There's a lot of sodium that gets stored with the beans in the can, and although some chefs think that that's great flavor, you can certainly save it for other uses. When you're making a salad like this, it's much nicer to control the salt that you put into your salad. So in this particular case, I rinse them so that there's not any of that thick liquid that comes with it. So this is a can of drained and rinsed chickpeas. I went with kidney beans as well, red kidney beans, because they're a beautiful color and they're nice and meaty. It makes for a really nice salad. So I'm adding that to the bowl. And today I had a can of black beans that I wanted to use. So I drained and rinsed the black beans, and so we're going to add that. So we've got 3 colors already. Next, quite often in bean salads you have waxed beans, and so you can use waxed beans from the garden. Today in your kit you will have received canned waxed beans in yellow and green, and they are super for adding a little bit of extra texture and some color to this salad, and certainly nutrition as well. So I didn't rinse the beans because they are only packed in water, but I did drain them. So we've got a can of green waxed beans that's going to go into the bowl, and yellow waxed beans. So I'm using this big old bowl because it's a lot easier to stir from the bowl, like stir the bowl with a little bit of space in it, but I will make it look a little bit prettier when we're actually serving it. And the other ingredient I'm using today is celery. This is where it gets really flexible. You could use yellow, red, and orange peppers. You could use finely diced cucumber, tomatoes. You can add anything you want. A classic 3-bean salad, in this case 5-bean salad, just uses these types of ingredients, but you can jazz it up any way you like. So I've got 3 stalks of celery that I've finely chopped, and I'm going to add that. And then the last remaining ingredient is an onion. So you can either use a red onion that's chopped finely, or green onions. A lot of people find that the red onions are a little bit sharper in flavor, and they have a little bit of a bite to them. So for the sake of today, I'm actually going to use green onions. It adds another little bit of color, and it's much milder. So once you've made up this salad, you have the opportunity to keep it in the fridge. You can store it in a Ziploc bag. You can store it however you like, in a covered container, and it will give you about a week of little side dish portions. It travels great for, it travels well for a work lunch, and it works really well with barbecued foods for sure. Oh, I've got some long green onions there. I'm going to take those out. Okay, so we've got a really pretty, colorful mix of beans and green beans. And now I'm going to make the dressing. So for the dressing, I need some salt, I need some pepper, I need some Italian seasoning of some sort. So we have a blend that we use that is a Nourish blend, which is really nice. We need some olive oil, we need some red wine vinegar and some apple cider vinegar, and some sugar. So I find the easiest way to make up this kind of vinaigrette is to actually use a jar. This one's a little big, doesn't have to be that big. A smaller one, a small shaker jar works really well as well. And it doesn't have to be a canning jar, it can be an old spaghetti jar or whatever you've got at home. But it really helps with emulsifying the dressing if you can shake it up really well. So for the dressing, I need a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. So I'm going to put that into my container. I need a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. I need 3 tablespoons of sugar. So for the sugar, you could use honey, you could use maple syrup, whatever your choice is. Brown sugar if you like the flavor of brown sugar. But we had some natural white sugar here. We need about 1/2 teaspoon, so this is a 1/4 teaspoon measure. We need about 1/2 teaspoon of some Italian mix. So the reason we choose Italian mix is it often has, you know, a number of different herbs. It might have some garlic powder, some onion powder, so it makes a really nice, flavorful mix. I'm gonna put pepper to taste, salt and pepper to taste. The recipe says a teaspoon of salt. I'm less apt to put a lot of salt. I'd rather add salt later. And as the flavors meld together, you can always add a little bit more, but you can't take it away once it's there. So I'm gonna go with about 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. And about 1/2 teaspoon of salt just to start. And if I need to salt it some more, I can salt it some more afterwards. And then a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. You want to use a fairly good olive oil for this. I tend to go a little bit heavier, so I'm going to use a bit more in mine. And then I'm going to put my lid on. Make sure it's closed properly so it doesn't go flying out on me. And then I'm going to shake it until it's well combined. The reason we have 2 different kinds of vinegars is these items like beans and the green beans have been sitting in their own liquid for a while, so you need a lot of vinegar to sort of permeate them to give it a vinegary flavor. So that's why the vinegar is quite a strong component of this dressing. All right. So I'm just going to give this a good stir. You could have this salad right away, but the best thing to do is to let it sit in the fridge for a few hours or overnight and let those flavors meld, because the vinegar, as I said, needs to sort of get into the beans and the mixture. And if you're serving it, you can use a pretty bowl. You could, if you've got some fresh herbs in the garden, you could certainly use those. You can keep some of it in the fridge. You don't have to use all of it. If I'm going to just use that much, I'm going to put a little bit of the dressing to keep it nice and moist. And then there you go. 3-bean salad, 5-bean salad, 10-bean salad, whatever you like. You can add as many options as you like, but I hope that you make it one of your summer staples. It's super easy, super healthy, and just a yummy, yummy salad to have in the fridge when you're really hungry. Happy summer!